Imagine a civilization far more advanced than any ancient world we know. A society that ruled the seas, built incredible cities, and possessed impossible knowledge. This was Atlantis, a marvel of human ingenuity and power, a beacon of progress in an ancient era. But ancient stories tell us Atlantis did not slowly fade. It vanished in a single catastrophic event. Massive earthquakes, violent floods, entire cities swallowed by the ocean. Within hours, one of history's greatest civilizations was gone. Or was it truly gone? Hidden within ancient legends and mysterious writings, a disturbing possibility emerges. Not everyone perished when Atlantis fell. Some may have escaped, carrying powerful, forbidden knowledge with them. But where did they go? Did they travel to the lands that would later become ancient Egypt? Perhaps they brought their advanced understanding to distant continents, like the mysterious civilizations of South America. Or did they hide their secrets, waiting for the opportune moment to reveal them once more? The night Atlantis disappeared was not just an end. It was the beginning of a mystery that has haunted humanity for millennia. A whisper through myths, an echo in ancient ruins, a lingering presence in unexplained leaps of knowledge across civilizations. Picture towers collapsing into the sea, fire meeting water, and ships slipping away under the cover of chaos. Survivors carrying scrolls, crystals, and secrets that could reshape the world. The ocean swallowed Atlantis, but perhaps not its legacy. Tonight, we delve into one of history's greatest enigmas, the survivors of Atlantis, and the profound secrets they may have carried into the future, influencing civilizations for thousands of years. If you love mythology, history, and forbidden ancient stories, subscribe to uncover the secrets behind every myth, and let us know where you're watching from as we explore this timeless mystery together. The legend of Atlantis has captivated humanity for centuries, a city of unparalleled beauty and advanced civilization. Lost to the depths, its fall wasn't a slow decline, but a sudden, cataclysmic event. A night when the very earth rebelled. Ancient accounts speak of tremors shaking the foundations of crystal towers. Streets split open, swallowing entire marketplaces. The ocean surged with unnatural fury, waves rising higher than the tallest temples. Fire burst from beneath the ground. Imagine the chaos. Families fleeing through collapsing streets, priests clutching sacred scrolls, soldiers powerless against unseen forces. The hum of Atlantean machines, once symbols of progress, became screams of destruction as conduits overloaded, towers shattered, their advanced technology turning against them. The sky turned crimson from the clash of fire and water. This catastrophe wasn't just natural, it was a consequence of ambition. The Atlantean elite pushed the living fire beyond its limits. They twisted energies they did not understand, unleashing a power that no civilization could withstand. The earth responded with fury. Within hours, Atlantis was unrecognizable. Harbors vanished beneath the waves. Temples crumbled into dust. The once glorious capital became a battlefield of fire and water. Survivors clung to fragments of stone. They watched as their magnificent world dissolved into the sea, a sight of unimaginable despair and loss. Legends say the catastrophe was so immense it echoed across the planet. Distant lands felt tremors. They saw strange lights in the sky and heard the roar of oceans that did not belong to them. It was as if the fall of Atlantis was not just the end of a city, but a wound carved into the earth itself. And yet, amidst the destruction, whispers of escape linger. Could some have foreseen the impending doom? Ships may have sailed before the final collapse, carrying precious cargo and even more precious lives. Knowledge, ancient and profound, may have been carried away in secret, preserved by those who escaped. The catastrophe destroyed Atlantis, but it may not have destroyed everyone. Its legacy could live on. The question that haunts history is not just how Atlantis fell, but who survived. Where did they go? The catastrophe that destroyed Atlantis seemed absolute. Towers collapsed, oceans swallowed streets, and fire consumed temples. Yet, hidden within the chaos, there are whispers that not everyone perished that night. Imagine the scene as the capital crumbled, ships broke free, pushed by desperate hands and furious waves. Families clung to vessels, navigators steered into the unknown, guided only by stars and instinct. Ancient texts hint at survivors. Plato's dialogues speak of Atlantis's destruction, but other traditions, Egyptian, Mayan, and Celtic, contain echoes of a people who arrived suddenly, bearing knowledge far beyond their time. Could these be the Atlanteans who escaped? Legends suggest they were priests, scholars, and navigators, those entrusted with sacred knowledge. They carried fragments of its wisdom, astronomy, geometry, medicine, and secrets of energy. But survival was not guaranteed. The ocean was violent, storms relentless, and the world unfamiliar. Some ships may have been lost, swallowed by the same waters that consumed the city. Others may have reached distant shores, their passengers becoming strangers in foreign lands. The question that haunts history is not whether Atlantis fell, but whether its survivors lived on. If they did, they would have been forced to adapt, to blend into new cultures, to disguise their origins, while quietly planting seeds of knowledge, influencing civilizations from the shadows. And so, the mystery deepens. Did anyone escape the fall? Were the survivors scattered across continents, carrying fragments of a lost civilization? Or are the legends nothing more than echoes of imagination? The answers may lie in the next chapter, in the ancient texts that speak of survivors, and the strange knowledge that appeared suddenly in places far from Atlantis. The legend of Atlantis, a city lost to the depths, has captivated humanity for centuries. But what if its story didn't end with its sinking? What if survivors carried its legacy into distant lands? Ancient Egyptian records whisper of mysterious visitors arriving from the sea, strangers of great wisdom. They brought knowledge far beyond their age, sharing secrets of the stars and sacred geometry. Some traditions even link these figures to Thoth, the ibis-headed god, keeper of cycles. Could these enigmatic visitors have been Atlantean refugees seeking new homes? Across the oceans, Mesoamerican lore tells of pale-skinned teachers who appeared suddenly. They guided people in agriculture, astronomy, and advanced architecture, transforming civilizations. Myths of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who came from across the waters, echo this idea. Wisdom seemingly brought from a lost land, sparking rapid cultural leaps. Even in Celtic traditions, there are stories of a drowned homeland, a place swallowed by the sea. Tales like the Breton legend of Ys and the Irish tales of Tir na Nog all hint at echoes of Atlantis, refracted through time and memory across diverse cultures. These texts don't name Atlantis directly, yet they describe sudden arrivals and teachers bearing forbidden knowledge. Civilizations seemingly leaped forward without explanation, their progress accelerated by unseen hands. The survivors, perhaps, disguised their true origins, blending into new cultures. They planted seeds of wisdom that would later bloom into pyramids, megaliths, and enduring mysteries. The question isn't if these texts exist. They do, but are they fragments of truth, distorted by centuries of retelling? Or are they deliberate records of a people who refused to let their civilization vanish entirely? If the survivors of Atlantis truly walked among the ancients, then their story is not just myth. It is history hidden in plain sight, waiting to be pieced together, waiting for us to uncover the truth. The legend of Atlantis captivates us, a lost civilization swallowed by the sea. But what if its story didn't end there? Among the scattered fragments of Atlantean wisdom, one name echoes through time: Thoth, the Egyptian god of writing and wisdom. But some legends suggest Thoth was more than a deity. He may have been a survivor, a vessel through which Atlantean teachings endured. Imagine the fall of Atlantis: chaos, fire, and water consuming the city in a cataclysmic event. In the midst of destruction, a figure entrusted with sacred knowledge escapes, carrying the essence of a lost civilization. When he reaches Egypt, he is remembered not as a refugee, but as a god, a teacher whose wisdom seemed divine. The teachings linked to Thoth are extraordinary, speaking of cycles of time and the balance between earth and sky. They reveal geometry that shapes the universe itself and describe the soul's journey. They delve into the secrets of energy and the profound mysteries of creation. These are not the lessons of a primitive age. They are echoes of a civilization that mastered knowledge far beyond its era. Egyptian texts credit Thoth with inventing writing, mathematics, and astronomy. He is said to have measured the heavens, recorded the laws of the gods, and taught humanity how to live in harmony with cosmic order. But what if these were not inventions at all? What if they were memories, fragments of Atlantean wisdom carried into a new world? The emerald tablets, attributed to Thoth, speak of hidden chambers and wisdom preserved for future generations. These writings hint at a deliberate effort to safeguard Atlantean knowledge, ensuring it would not vanish even if the city itself was lost. If Thoth was indeed a survivor, then his teachings are not mythology. They are history disguised as myth, a coded record of a civilization that refused to be forgotten. Through Egypt, through temples, through texts, the voice of Atlantis may still be speaking. And if that is true, then the survivors did more than escape. They planted seeds of wisdom that would shape the future of humanity. The legend of Atlantis, a city lost to the waves, has captivated humanity for centuries. But what if some survived its cataclysmic end? Long before the final collapse, whispers suggested that some in Atlantis foresaw the catastrophe. The tremors beneath the earth, the unstable surge of the living fire, the crimson skies, all were signs that the end was near. And in secret, ships began to leave the harbors, slipping away under cover of night. Picture vast vessels carved from wood and crystal, their sails glowing faintly, moving silently through the calm waters. These were not ordinary fishing boats. They were ships built for long journeys, guided by star maps and instruments far beyond their age. On board were priests, navigators, and families chosen to carry fragments of Atlantis into the unknown. Some legends claim these ships sailed east, toward the Nile, carrying scrolls of astronomy and geometry. knowledge that would later appear suddenly in Egypt, influencing its grand civilization. Others say they crossed the Atlantic, reaching distant lands where megaliths and pyramids would rise centuries later. A few may have vanished entirely, swallowed by storms, leaving only myths of travelers who never returned. The departure was not celebrated. It was quiet, desperate, and hidden from the elite who still believed they could control the fire and water. The ships carried not wealth or gold, but knowledge, tablets, crystals, and sacred texts meant to preserve the essence of Atlantis. Their mission was survival, not conquest, to plant seeds of wisdom that would outlive the fall. Imagine the fear of those aboard, leaving behind their homes, watching the glow of Atlantis fade into the horizon. Yet they carried hope, hope that somewhere beyond the fury of the ocean they could find a new beginning. These lifeboats of wisdom explain why advanced knowledge appeared suddenly in distant civilizations. They were vessels of survival, carrying the last breath of a dying world, ensuring its legacy would endure. And so, while Atlantis itself was swallowed by the sea, its profound legacy sailed across the waters, hidden in the journeys of those who escaped. For centuries, the legend of Atlantis has captivated humanity, a magnificent civilization lost to the depths. But what if some survived its cataclysmic end? As the great city crumbled, ships are said to have slipped away from the burning horizon, carrying its last hopes and secrets. Their journey led them eastward, across vast, turbulent seas, towards the fertile lands of a young and rising civilization, ancient Egypt. Imagine these weary survivors arriving on foreign shores, carrying fragments of their advanced knowledge and memories of a lost world. To the early Egyptians, these strangers, bearing wisdom far beyond their age, must have seemed like gods descending from the heavens. They came not as conquerors, but as teachers, planting seeds of profound knowledge in a land ready to embrace new understanding. Legends whisper that Thoth himself, the eye-besetted god of wisdom, may have guided these survivors to temples along the Nile. There, they shared secrets of cosmic cycles, sacred geometry, and the delicate balance between earth and sky. Suddenly, Egypt possessed knowledge that seemed to appear out of nowhere, propelling its civilization into an era of unprecedented greatness. Astronomy precise enough to align colossal monuments with the stars, mathematics capable of shaping the grandest structures. Could the pyramids, the temples, the sudden sophistication of Egyptian society truly be echoes of a lost Atlantean legacy? The survivors may have woven their wisdom into the very foundations of Egypt, disguising their origins while ensuring their legacy endured. But survival came at a profound cost. They had lost their homeland, their towering cities, their entire world. In Egypt, they became something new, guardians of ancient knowledge, keepers of profound secrets, blending into a new culture. This journey was not just across the sea. It was a passage from destruction to rebirth, from one world to another. Atlantis had fallen, but in Egypt, its wisdom may have found a second life, echoing through the ages. And so, the mystery deepens. If survivors reached Egypt, what knowledge did they carry? And how much of Egypt's greatness was truly its own? The legend of Atlantis, a civilization lost to the waves, has captivated humanity for centuries. But what if its story didn't end beneath the sea? Imagine survivors carrying fragments of their advanced world, reaching the ancient Nile. A new chapter was about to unfold. Egypt, then in its formative stages, suddenly experienced an extraordinary leap forward in knowledge. It was truly remarkable. Astronomy, mathematics, and architecture appeared with unprecedented sophistication, knowledge far beyond its time. How did this profound understanding emerge so suddenly? The answer may lie with the Atlantean survivors. Nile priests spoke of cosmic order and balance, echoing philosophies attributed to the enigmatic Thoth. The emerald tablets linked to Thoth describe secrets of geometry, energy, and the soul's journey. Such ideas were inherited. Egyptian medicine also advanced rapidly. Records show treatments and surgical tools centuries ahead of their neighbors. Could this have been Atlantean knowledge, preserved and passed down by survivors who refused to let their civilization vanish entirely? Civilizations typically evolve, slowly, building upon generations of trial and error. But Egypt's leap was abrupt, dramatic, and mysterious. It was as if a torch had been handed to them, torch lit in Atlantis, carried across the sea, and placed in the hands of a new people. The survivors may have disguised their origins, blending into Egyptian society, remembered not as refugees, but as divine teachers. Their wisdom became the foundation of temples, pyramids, and enduring myths. And so, Egypt's greatness may not have been born entirely from its own soil. It may have been seeded by a civilization swallowed by the ocean, a legacy carried by survivors who ensured Atlantis would live on in another form. The mystery continues. They carried advanced knowledge of geometry, astronomy, and engineering. This mastery could have profoundly shaped ancient Egyptian civilization. The pyramids, perfectly aligned with the stars, may not be the product of trial and error, but a continuation of Atlantean wisdom. Or is it evidence of knowledge carried from a lost civilization that understood the universe in ways we are only beginning to rediscover? Legends say the pyramids were not merely tombs, but repositories of wisdom. Hidden chambers may preserve records, energy, or even the memory of Atlantis itself. The survivors, blending into Egyptian society, may have disguised their origins. They embedded their legacy into stone so massive it could withstand the erosion of time. The connections grow stranger still across the ocean. In South America, pyramids rise with similar precision. Mesoamerican temples align with solstices and equinoxes, echoing the same cosmic awareness. How did two distant civilizations create monuments with such uncanny similarities? The answer may be that both inherited fragments of Atlantean wisdom. The pyramids are not just monuments. They are mysteries carved in stone, whispers of a knowledge that should not have existed in their time. If survivors of Atlantis truly reached Egypt, then the pyramids may be the most visible evidence of their presence. Colossal markers pointing back to a civilization swallowed by the sea. So, the question lingers. Are the pyramids purely Egyptian genius? Or are they the silent testimony of Atlantis, preserved in stone for eternity? The legend of Atlantis, a magnificent civilization lost to the depths, has captivated humanity for centuries. But what if its story didn't end there? What if some survivors, fleeing the catastrophe, embarked on an impossible journey across the vast Atlantic? Imagine their vessels, braving storms, guided by ancient star maps and instruments unknown to the world. Weeks of perilous travel would have brought them to distant shores, to jungles and mountains unlike any they knew. To the native peoples of South America, these strangers would have seemed extraordinary, bearing advanced knowledge. Pale-skinned, bearded figures, they brought wisdom of agriculture, astronomy, and monumental architecture. Mesoamerican myths speak of mysterious teachers arriving from across the sea, like Viracocha in the Andes and Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, figures who taught farming, mathematics, and celestial alignments. Their sudden appearance mirrors the possibility that Atlantean survivors carried fragments of their lost civilization. And Pumapunku, where stones weighing hundreds of tons were cut with incredible precision. Theories suggest survivors split into groups, some reaching Egypt, others journeying to South America, each group planting fragments of wisdom that would later bloom into pyramids, temples, and myths. This explains why civilizations separated by oceans share uncanny similarities, monumental stonework, cosmic alignments, and legends of gods who came from the sea, echoing Atlantean tales. Survival in South America was not easy. They adapted to new climates, peoples, and dangers. They may have disguised themselves as divine figures, embedding their knowledge into enduring myths. Theories of survivors reaching South America remain controversial, yet the evidence is tantalizing. If true, then Atlantis did not vanish entirely. It scattered across the world, leaving traces. Across our world, colossal stones rise, cut with a precision that defies explanation. They stand as silent witnesses to forgotten knowledge. From the Andes to the British Isles, could these be the enduring fingerprints of Atlantean survivors? A civilization lost to time? Imagine walking among the ruins of Pumapunku in Bolivia. Blocks of stone, weighing hundreds of tons, are carved with perfect right angles. These massive stones interlock like pieces of a puzzle. Even with modern tools, replicating such precision is nearly impossible. Yet, these stones were shaped thousands of years ago. Who taught the builders such advanced techniques? At Sacsayhuaman, massive walls rise above Cusco. Their stones are fitted so tightly, not even a blade of grass can slip between them. These irregular stones lock together seamlessly, as if molded by hands that understood geometry beyond our comprehension. Across the ocean in Europe, the standing stones of Stonehenge align with solstices, marking celestial events with uncanny accuracy. In Malta, megalithic temples, older than the pyramids, echo the same mysterious awareness of cosmic cycles. These structures share a strange connection. They appear suddenly, without clear evidence of gradual development. Civilizations, supposedly lacking advanced tools, somehow mastered engineering, astronomy, and geometry. Theories suggest survivors of Atlantis carried fragments of their knowledge into these lands, guiding local peoples in the construction of monuments that would endure for millennia. But why build in stone? Perhaps the survivors understood that scrolls could burn, cities could fall, but stone would endure. By embedding their wisdom into megaliths, they ensured their story would remain. Even if their story was forgotten, the monuments would remain, puzzles waiting to be solved by future generations. The mystery of megalithic structures is not just their size, but their true purpose. Were they temples, observatories, or coded messages left behind by survivors who wanted to preserve the essence of Atlantis? Each stone may be more than architecture. It may be a fragment of a lost language, a silent testimony of a civilization swallowed by the sea, its wisdom etched in stone for eternity. And so, the megaliths stand, massive, immovable, and enigmatic. They are whispers carved in stone, hinting that Atlantis did not vanish entirely. Its survivors may have left behind monuments that still challenge us today. When Atlantis fell, its grand towers crumbled, and its magnificent temples drowned beneath the waves. Yet not all of its profound wisdom was lost. Survivors carried fragments of knowledge with them. Imagine priests clutching ancient scrolls, carefully wrapped in oilcloth, preserving vital texts. Navigators hid star maps, intricately etched onto crystal tablets, guiding future journeys. Healers preserved formulas for medicine, centuries ahead of their time, ensuring well-being. These were not treasures of gold or jewels, but treasures of the mind, knowledge to rebuild. Legends suggest survivors concealed this wisdom in coded texts and oral traditions. They also embedded it in monuments disguised as temples across the ancient world. In Egypt, fragments of geometry and astronomy suddenly appeared, guiding pyramid construction. In South America, myths of sea gods brought teachings of agriculture and architecture. Across Europe, megaliths rose as silent markers of cosmic cycles, echoing ancient wisdom. But the survivors did not reveal everything. They understood the danger of knowledge without balance. The catastrophe of Atlantis had been born from arrogance, pushing energies beyond their limits. To prevent history from repeating, they hid the most powerful secrets, embedding them in symbols. These myths and rituals were only for the initiated, those ready to understand. The hidden knowledge carried by survivors may explain sudden leaps in human history, moments when civilizations advanced without clear cause, as if gifted by unseen hands. Writing, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and architecture appeared as if by magic. Perhaps they were the legacy of Atlantis, carried across oceans and disguised within cultures. Cultures that would never know their true origin, yet benefited from their profound wisdom. Choosing secrecy over destruction, concealment over arrogance, for humanity's sake. The question that lingers is this: how much of that hidden knowledge still exists today? Is it buried in temples, locked in myths, or encoded in monuments we have yet to decipher? If the survivors carried the essence of Atlantis into the future, then fragments of their wisdom may still be with us, waiting to be uncovered. waiting for the right moment to reveal its true origin and power. The legendary city of Atlantis fell, but what became of its survivors? They carried fragments of ancient wisdom, yet faced a profound dilemma: how to preserve this knowledge without repeating the arrogance that destroyed their homeland. The answer, according to legend, was secrecy. Imagine a hidden circle: priests, scholars, navigators. These men and women escaped the fall, sworn to guard Atlantis's wisdom. They did not reveal their origins openly. Instead, they formed brotherhoods, secret societies, dedicated to protecting knowledge. They waited until humanity was ready to understand it. In ancient Egypt, whispers tell of initiates studying geometry and astronomy. They learned the mysteries of the soul in hidden chambers beneath grand temples. In Greece, Atlantean wisdom echoed in the teachings of Pythagoras and Plato, passed down through coded symbols and guarded rituals. Across the world, legends of hidden orders emerged. From European druids to Mesoamerican sages, fragments of Atlantean knowledge were preserved. These brotherhoods did not seek power. Their true quest was survival. They knew revealing too much could lead to disaster, just as it did in Atlantis. They concealed teachings in myths, encoded them in architecture, passing wisdom through generations in whispers. Sacred geometry, star alignments, hidden chambers became their language, a way to preserve wisdom without exposing its full danger. Some believe these brotherhoods still exist today. Their roots stretch back thousands of years. Groups like the Freemasons and Rosicrucians are linked to ancient knowledge. Their symbols echo patterns found in pyramids and megaliths. Could they be descendants of Atlantean survivors, still guarding fragments of a lost civilization? This idea is both unsettling and tantalizing. If true, the survivors did more than just escape. They created a network of guardians, a hidden chain of knowledge, stretching across continents and centuries. Atlantis may have fallen, but its wisdom lives on. Through these brotherhoods, it remains concealed and protected. The question isn't if these brotherhoods existed, it's whether they still hold secrets that could change our world. The legend of Atlantis speaks of a magnificent civilization, lost to the depths in a cataclysm of fire and water. But what if its profound wisdom didn't vanish entirely? What if fragments survived the catastrophe? If survivors carried this knowledge across vast oceans, then a crucial question emerges. Does that ancient wisdom still exist today? Imagine ancient scrolls, carefully preserved deep within forgotten temple chambers, or intricate tablets buried beneath pyramids. Perhaps coded messages are etched into monuments that have stood for thousands of years, waiting to be deciphered. The fabled emerald tablets, attributed to the enigmatic Thoth, speak of wisdom preserved for future generations. They are said to be locked away, hidden until humanity is truly ready to comprehend their profound secrets. Across diverse cultures and epochs, history reveals sudden, inexplicable leaps of knowledge without clear origins. The astonishing geometry of the pyramids, the precision of megalithic structures, and the astronomical alignments of temples. These marvels all hint at a guiding hand, a hidden influence that shaped ancient civilizations. Perhaps the Atlantean survivors did not reveal everything at once, choosing instead to conceal their most powerful secrets, embedding them within myths, symbols, and architectural wonders, so only the truly enlightened could unlock them. Even in our modern era, whispers of this hidden knowledge persist, echoing through various traditions. Secret societies claim to be the guardians of ancient wisdom, passed down through generations. Mystics speak of lost texts, chambers hidden beneath the Sphinx, or maps revealing forgotten lands. Whether these are fact or fiction, these compelling stories all echo the same profound possibility. Atlantis may not be entirely gone. Its essence may still linger, disguised, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself to humanity. However, a significant danger lies in the misuse of such powerful knowledge. Atlantis itself was destroyed by arrogance. By pushing energies beyond their limits, they brought about their own downfall, a cautionary tale for all. If fragments of its knowledge still exist, they may be hidden deliberately, protected from those who would repeat the same mistakes. The survivors may have chosen secrecy not out of fear, but out of profound wisdom and foresight. So, could Atlantean knowledge still exist? The monuments, myths, and mysteries of our world suggest it might. Perhaps it is buried beneath the sands of Egypt, encoded in the stones of South America, or hidden in texts yet to be deciphered. If so, then Atlantis has not vanished entirely. It lives on, concealed in plain sight, waiting for humanity to prove it is ready to understand. The legend of Atlantis captivates us. But what if its survivors didn't vanish, but carried a profound secret into the unknown? They didn't sail blindly. Legends whisper of maps, charts of seas and stars, far beyond their age, guiding their desperate journey. These weren't crude sketches. They were records of a civilization that mastered exploration, mapping the world long before others dared. Consider the Piri Race map, a 16th century enigma. It shows Antarctica with uncanny accuracy, details unknown at its creation. Could this be a copy of something far older, a fragment of Atlantean navigation preserved through centuries, hinting at a lost past? Survivors may have passed these maps to Egyptians, Greeks, and others. Skills like star navigation appeared suddenly, as if gifted. The use of geometry to chart distances, the ability to cross oceans without modern instruments. These were advanced concepts, but these maps were more than tools. They were secrets. Revealing them openly risked the arrogance that destroyed Atlantis. They may have hidden their charts, embedding fragments into myths of sea gods, encoded in temple alignments, or preserved in secret brotherhoods, guarding the profound knowledge for generations, waiting for the right time. The mystery of lost maps isn't just about geography. It's about the possibility Atlantis explored the world long ago. If survivors carried these maps, they carried proof their civilization reached across continents, connecting isolated lands. So, the question lingers: do fragments of Atlantean navigation still exist today? Are they hidden in dusty archives, disguised in myths, or buried beneath forgotten ruins, waiting to be rediscovered? If the survivors truly carried maps, then Atlantis may not only have lived on in memory, it may have shaped the very course of human exploration, influencing our understanding of the world. The legend of Atlantis captivates us, but what if its true legacy isn't just a lost city? What if it's a profound wisdom carried into the future, shaping our world in ways we're only beginning to understand? One of Atlantis's most enduring legacies might be found in sacred geometry. These mysterious patterns and proportions are woven into ancient monuments, myths, and even nature itself. Sacred geometry is more than just mathematics. It's the belief that certain shapes and ratios reflect the very structure of the universe. Circles, triangles, spirals, and the golden ratio appear everywhere, not only in temples and pyramids, but also in seashells, galaxies, and the human body. To the Atlanteans, these patterns weren't mere decoration. They were the fundamental language of creation itself. Imagine survivors, perhaps from a grand city like Atlantis, arriving in distant lands. They might have taught Egyptian priests how to align temples with the stars, embedding cosmic proportions into the very design of the pyramids. Or in South America, guiding builders to carve massive megaliths, structures that mirrored celestial cycles with astonishing precision. Across diverse cultures, the sudden appearance of advanced geometry in architecture suggests a guiding hand. Perhaps the survivors of Atlantis, preserving their profound wisdom through stone. Consider the Great Pyramid of Giza. It encodes mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio. Stonehenge aligns perfectly with the solstices, a testament to ancient astronomical knowledge. Temples in India and Mesoamerica reflect intricate fractal patterns found in nature. These are not mere coincidences. They are echoes of a sophisticated philosophy, a philosophy that viewed the universe as a grand, interconnected design, one that could be understood and replicated through the principles of geometry. Sacred geometry was also deeply spiritual for the Atlanteans. They believed that by building in harmony with cosmic patterns, they could connect earth and sky, bridging the gap between matter and spirit, creating sacred spaces. Their monuments were more than just structures. They were bridges, places where humans could align with the divine order of the cosmos. The survivors may have concealed their wisdom in these patterns, knowing that even if myths faded, the geometry would endure. A circle carved in stone, a temple aligned with the stars, a spiral etched into art, all silent messages waiting for future generations to rediscover. And so, sacred geometry may be the most enduring legacy of Atlantis. It is hidden in monuments, encoded in myths, and reflected in the very fabric of nature. If the survivors carried anything from their lost world, it was this profound belief. The universe itself is written in patterns, and by understanding them, humanity can glimpse the secrets of creation. The legend of Atlantis captivates us. But what if some survived its cataclysmic fall? Where did they go? And why, if they carried such advanced knowledge, did they remain hidden from the world for centuries? This isn't a tale of simple escape. It's a profound mystery of wisdom, guilt, and the future of humanity. Atlantis wasn't destroyed by ignorance. It fell due to arrogance, pushing energies beyond their limits. They wielded immense knowledge without balance. This was the harsh lesson the survivors carried with them. Revealing their origins, rebuilding their glory, could lead humanity down the same destructive path. Secrecy wasn't cowardice. It was a profound act of wisdom, born from witnessing their own downfall. Imagine arriving in a new land, bearing scrolls of geometry and intricate star maps, formulas for energy, technologies far beyond comprehension. To reveal them openly would overwhelm. Societies unprepared for such advanced knowledge might misuse it, repeating Atlantis's mistakes. Instead, the survivors chose a different path. They disguised themselves as teachers, sages, or even revered gods. They blended into emerging cultures. Slowly, carefully, they planted seeds of wisdom, guiding humanity without revealing their true identity. Their influence shaped early civilizations, subtly steering progress away from past errors. Protection was another vital reason for their hidden existence. Refugees from a drowned world would likely face suspicion, even outright hostility. Concealing their origins ensured their survival, allowing their teachings to be absorbed peacefully. Without fear or rejection, their legacy could endure, woven into the fabric of new societies. There was also the heavy burden of guilt they carried. They had watched their magnificent homeland collapse under the weight of unchecked ambition. To speak openly of Atlantis would be to relive its failure, to expose wounds too deep to heal. Silence became their shield, secrecy a way to honor the dead while guiding the living forward. And so, the survivors remained hidden, guardians of ancient wisdom, blending into new civilizations, their legacy disguised in myths, monuments, and sacred rituals. Their secrecy ensured Atlantis would not be repeated. Its knowledge would endure without its arrogance. The lingering question, did their silence truly protect humanity, or did it bury vital truths? Perhaps both. Perhaps some knowledge must remain hidden until humanity is truly ready to receive it. The mystery of Atlantis's survivors continues to echo through time, a silent testament to a lost world. The tale of a drowned land isn't unique to Atlantis. Across the globe, cultures share eerie stories of lost homelands swallowed by the sea. These myths speak of survivors carrying ancient wisdom into new, uncharted territories. In Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh recounts a colossal flood nearly wiping out humanity. Yet, a chosen survivor preserved knowledge, ensuring life's continuation. The Hebrew tradition of Noah's Ark echoes this theme. Destruction by water, survival through foresight. It speaks of renewal, a fresh start in a world reborn from the deluge. Among the Maya and Aztec, legends tell of gods arriving from across the sea after a great catastrophe. They brought teachings of agriculture, astronomy, and architecture. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, was one such divine teacher. In India, ancient texts describe cycles of destruction and rebirth, with floods washing away civilizations. The story of Manu, who survived a deluge by building a boat, mirrors this universal archetype. Celtic and Breton traditions recall drowned lands like Ys and Lyoness, swallowed by the ocean. In Ireland, Tir na Nog, the land of youth, lies beyond the waves, a memory of paradise lost. Even Polynesian myths speak of islands vanishing beneath the waves and survivors sailing to new lands. Guided by stars, these voyagers carried their heritage across vast distances. These global stories suggest a shared memory, not mere coincidence, but fragments of a real event. They point to a universal truth. Humanity remembers the sea's power and civilization's fragility, and the possibility that survivors carried vital wisdom into the future. Whether Atlantis was real or symbolic, its echoes live on in myths that span continents. History, as we know it, is a tapestry woven from fragments, records, myths, and interpretations. But what if some vital threads were deliberately concealed or lost? What if our past is incomplete? The legend of Atlantis suggests a missing piece, one that could redefine civilization itself. Beyond a drowned land, history might be missing the legacy of its survivors. If Atlanteans carried knowledge across oceans, then sudden leaps in ancient cultures make sense. Mathematics, astronomy, architecture in Egypt and South America might be echoes of a forgotten civilization. Consider the gaps, civilizations that advanced abruptly without clear developmental stages. Myths of floods and drowned lands recur across cultures, hinting at a shared, traumatic memory. Monuments aligned with cosmic cycles, built with techniques far beyond their supposed time. These mysteries suggest history is missing connective tissue, the hidden influence of survivors. They blended into new cultures, disguising their origins while planting seeds of wisdom. But why are these crucial pieces missing from our historical narrative? Some knowledge may have been deliberately concealed, hidden in symbols to prevent misuse. Other fragments were destroyed by time, war, or natural disasters, lost forever. And some may still lie buried beneath sands, oceans, or ruins, waiting to be uncovered. If Atlantis truly existed, then history as we know it is profoundly incomplete. What we call myth may in fact be memory. What we call legend may be testimony. And what we call sudden progress may be the quiet hand of survivors, ensuring their civilization lived on in disguise, influencing our world. The missing pieces of history are not just about Atlantis. They are about humanity itself. How much of our story has been forgotten, and how much may still be waiting to be rediscovered? The legend of Atlantis, a city lost beneath the waves, has captivated humanity for centuries. But beyond its fabled destruction lies an even deeper enigma. What became of its people? Did any survive the cataclysm? And if so, where did they go? Imagine, if you will, a hidden exodus. Some whisper that Atlantean survivors journeyed to ancient Egypt. Their advanced knowledge, disguised as divine teachersrooms, could have sparked the sudden rise of a sophisticated civilization, leaving behind monumental structures and profound wisdom. Others suggest their path led across vast oceans to the Americas. Here, they might have carved the colossal megaliths of South America, embedding their legacy in stone. Their architectural prowess, echoing through the ages, a silent testament to a forgotten past. Perhaps they formed secret brotherhoods, guarding fragments of their advanced knowledge. These clandestine groups, operating from the shadows, could have preserved ancient truths, influencing human progress discreetly, ensuring their wisdom endured. What history records as inexplicable leaps in civilization, from sudden technological advancements to philosophical awakenings, might in fact be the quiet hand of Atlantean refugees, guiding humanity not as rulers, but as unseen mentors, shaping our destiny. Their silence was deliberate, their concealment purposeful. They understood that to reveal too much, to flaunt their power, would risk repeating the arrogance that ultimately led to the downfall of their magnificent homeland. A lesson learned at a terrible cost. And so, the survivors became whispers in myths, shadows in monuments, guardians of secrets too powerful to expose. Atlantis itself may be gone, but its essence lingers in the intricate geometry of ancient sites, in timeless legends, and in mysteries that still defy explanation. The final mystery is not merely whether Atlantis existed, but whether its survivors succeeded in their profound mission. Did they preserve enough wisdom to gently guide humanity toward balance, preventing us from repeating their catastrophic errors? Or did they bury truths so profound, so dangerous, that they remain hidden even now, waiting for a time when humanity is truly ready to comprehend them? Perhaps both scenarios hold a piece of the truth. Perhaps Atlantis lives on, not in sunken ruins, but in the fragments of wisdom scattered across the world. waiting for us to recognize them. And with that, the story of Atlantis' survivors closes, not with certainty, but with wonder. For in every myth, every monument, and every mystery, the echoes of a lost world remind us that history is never complete.